Hi, I'm Stefan. Today I want to show you how you can get an extra waveform out of your analog synth that's not even shown on the front panel. Welcome to Key Talk. For all the great sounds you can get from classic monophonic analog synthesizers like this Moog Rogue, they do have a pretty limited set of waveforms. They typically include a sawtooth wave and a square wave, often with a variable pulse width. You may also find triangle waves, which are basically filtered square waves, and that's about it for the majority of analog synths. Have you ever noticed that sine waves are mysteriously absent from the selection? Well, today I will show you how to get one anyway. To do that, your synth needs to have two critical features. First, a filter that is capable of self-oscillation. Most of them are, and if you're not sure, it's pretty easy to find out. All you have to do is crank up the resonance control, which on this particular synth is called emphasis because it emphasizes a particular frequency, and that frequency is defined by the cutoff control. You've all heard sounds like this, right? Let me know in the comments if you would like to know more about filters. For now, suffice it to say that if you crank up the resonance control so that your filter generates an actual pitch, that is self-oscillation. It is indeed putting out a sine wave, like so. The challenge is to play this wave in tune on the keyboard without actually using an oscillator. For that, you need the second feature, a continuous keyboard tracking control for the filter. This isn't available on all synths. On some, it's not there at all. On others, it's a switch, but not adjustable. Fortunately, on the Rogue, it is fully adjustable. To play the sine wave musically, we need to establish a reference pitch. Use the lowest key for that, because that puts out the lowest voltage. I believe it's 0 volts on this keyboard. Yours may be different, but in any case, this key puts out the same voltage to both the oscillators and the filter. So let's tune the filter to the same pitch as the oscillator. The final step is to tune this across the keyboard. As we go up, we increment the control voltage by a very specific amount. After all, this is what lets you play all notes in tune. For the filter, this means you need to fine-tune the tracking control to give you the same even 12 steps per octave. This is pretty easy to do by ear, or you can also use a chromatic tuner. Let's now reference the highest pitch with the oscillator and tune the filter to that pitch with the tracking knob. Alright, that's it. You can now turn everything down in the mixer section. So everything is off, and we're left with a nice sine wave. Can you still shape the sound? Sure, you can use your envelope controls normally for sustained notes or short blips. You can use your mod wheel for expressive playing. You can't filter though, because obviously the filter is busy impersonating an oscillator. Then again, with sine waves, there isn't much to filter anyway. And you cannot use the pitch wheel because that is hardwired to the oscillator, at least on this synth. To wrap it up, let me add a short pitch drift to the attack for a nice organ-type chiff and add some delay. I also recorded a simple bass pulse for context, also from the synth. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and thanks for watching.